Welcome. We're jumping right into the very first chapter of Jules Verne's incredible adventure, Journey to the Center of the Earth. Now, the story starts in this, seemingly quiet home in 19th century Hamburg. But trust me, that peace and quiet is about to be completely shattered, kicking off one of the wildest adventures ever put to paper. So, let's get into it.
So the book doesn't ease you in, not at all. It just yanks you right into the action with this one command. Axel, follow me. It's Professor Lidenbrock shouting at his nephew Axel. There's no hello, no how was your day, just this sudden, urgent summons that immediately tells you something big is happening.
Okay, so let's get our bearings. Where are we? The date is May 24th, 1863. We're in a little house on one of the oldest streets in Hamburg, Germany. And that quiet I mentioned, well, it's about to be completely destroyed by the professor's very unexpected, very early return home.
The professor's arrival sends the whole house into a panic. The poor servant, Martha, is just freaking out because she knows her boss is, and I quote, the most impatient of men. Him being home early isn't just a minor issue. It's like a Category 5 hurricane tearing through the house, and he hasn't even said anything yet.
So who is this guy causing all this chaos? Let's take a minute to really dig into the mind of the brilliant, incredibly difficult, and totally one-of-a-kind Professor Otto Lidenbrock.
Our narrator, his nephew Axel, gives us this brutally honest description. He admits his uncle is a famous professor of mineralogy, a true man of science, for sure, but he also calls him a learned egotist and a learned miser. Basically, the guy's a genius, but it's all about him. He's brilliant, yeah, but he's not exactly winning any friends.
And this just perfectly shows the professor's two totally different sides. When he's giving public lectures, he's kind of a mess. He stumbles over complicated words, and his students pretty much just laugh at him. But when he's in his element, with his tools in hand, he's an absolute master. He's got the keen eye of the mineralogist and is a seriously powerful man of science. It's that genius that makes people respect him, even if he's a disaster on stage.
And his physical appearance, it's just as intense as his personality. He's tall, he's thin, with these restless eyes and a nose that looks like a knife blade. Even the way he walks is aggressive. He takes these huge, perfectly measured steps. And you see those fists he keeps clenched? Total giveaway of his irritable temperament. Everything about this guy just screams intensity.
All right, so now let's properly meet the person telling us the story, who you'll see has a very, very different personality. Let's talk about our narrator, young Axel.
So yeah, Axel is our guide here. He's the professor's nephew and his lab assistant. But he could not be more different from his uncle. While Lidenbrock is all impulse and fire, Axel is cautious, he's a thinker, and honestly, he's pretty easily intimidated. He is the perfect person to balance out the professor's chaotic energy.
And Axel really just sums up their whole relationship with this one question. He's wondering, how can someone like him, who's so undecided, ever hope to win an argument with his uncle's explosive temper? This is the core dynamic that's going to push the whole story forward, the impulsive leader dragging along his very reluctant follower.
Okay, before we get back to the action, let's just take a quick look at the house itself. Because just like its owner, number 19 Königstrasse has a personality all its own.
This is not your average house. It's this ancient, leaning building with a weird, bulging roof, and it's literally being held up by an old tree. It even survived the Great Fire of Hamburg. The point is, this house has history, it has character, and it's the perfect backdrop for the eccentric man who lives there. It just feels like a place where crazy things are bound to happen.
And to complete the scene, we've got two other important people living here. There's Martha, the loyal but totally terrified servant we already met, and then there's Gruben, the professor's 17-year-old goddaughter, who, by the way, Axel has a major crush on. So it's this small little family unit, ready for a whole lot of drama.
Okay, let's get back to that crazy entrance. The professor has just blasted through the front door of his strange little house, and he's radiating this explosive energy.
He doesn't even slow down. He's like a torpedo, just shooting through the house, throwing his hat and stick wherever, and making a direct line for his study. Axel calls this room his own sanctum, like it's his holy place. Something huge must have happened for him to rush in there like that. And that's exactly where the chapter leaves us, hanging. The characters are introduced, the scene is set, and the tension is super high. We're all left with this one burning question. What in the world did the professor find? What explosive secret sent him running home to his study? The adventure is officially on.